Newcastle Live.
How you going, man?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good. You're on tour at the moment, aren't you?
Oh, look, I am, but I've got a week off at the moment. Which is nice.
Ooh, that's nice. Is it a rarity to have a week off in a row?
Yes, it is actually. It's a nice little kind of, paid leave on some levels.
Perfect. And tell me, you've been to Newcastle before?
No, I haven't been to Newcastle before. This will be my first time.
Oh, cool. And is it you bringing a band, aren't you?
Yes, well, I'm bringing a support act, Theatre, and so that will also play in my set as my band as well.
Oh, cool. So we'll see some light and shade. Sometimes it might be just you on stage, and other times you'll have accompaniment, yeah?
Absolutely. So that's exactly what it is. So sometimes it's just me and the guitar, and sometimes the full band.
And you were able to create a nice dynamic through the evening then, I would imagine.
Absolutely, and that's what I hope to do. I hope to create a journey. I hope to kind of relive life on some levels, and that up and down that wave throughout the show.
And tell me, is that what you tried to achieve on Surrender?
Absolutely. I really wanted an album that people could relate to and interpret. And it was really hard because sometimes as an Aboriginal person, as a member of the Aboriginal community, you get pigeonholed as an Aboriginal artist, and I wanted to really kind of establish that I was just a singer-songwriter like everybody else, and that my reality is your reality as much as it is vice versa.
Yeah.
And so with the album, I really wanted to really kind of portray that the experiences in my life are exactly the same as anybody else's. And, I've experienced happiness, sadness, love, all those kind of things, like everybody else. And I think that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create that wave, that kind of life experience that we all get.
Yeah. And do you feel like, I wanted to focus in on what you first said there. Do you feel like there's a pressure to be a spokesperson for your community rather than just talking about your art and what you have to offer, the music community?
Absolutely, and I totally get that understanding that, it is an achievement, to do the things that I've done as an Aboriginal person, but I really battle for that. I'm not an Aboriginal singer-songwriter, I'm just a singer-songwriter, and that's exactly, I'm like everybody else in the industry who's trying to make a living. I do feel sometimes that pressure to kind of be the Aboriginal activist, but I'm not an Aboriginal activist. I'm an Aboriginal person. Just the fact that I'm Aboriginal and I'm doing what I'm doing is enough for me. That's enough of a spokesperson. I don't have to talk about or be political or anything like this. I think just the fact that I am Aboriginal, I'm proud of it, but I'm just out there doing my thing. I think that's an activist enough.
Yeah, and tell me, you've worked with some amazing artists in your career. Like you've duetted with Paul Kelly, you supported Archie Roach, John Farnham, Guy Sebastian. What can you learn from interacting with these type of artists that you can then put into your own work and your own career?
Well, it's really important that you, when you're given that opportunity, you listen or you observe. And it's important that you take on board what you think is important for you. When I got to meet John Farnham, we all know why we love John Farnham, and he's a fantastic vocalist and all those kind of things. But one of the things I learned from John Farnham wasn't necessarily about music itself, but was about his personality and his character. Is that he could be John Farnham is one of those guys in the whole world, that could be. Kind of up himself, but he wasn't. He was down to earth. He was just like the everyday bloke that you meet. And I went, that's a huge statement that he's being able to, kind of sustain that and protect that kind of personality about him. So, when you meet somebody like that, then you meet somebody like Gurumul, who has a totally different kind of story. He comes from Elko Island. He's Aboriginal. He's blind. He sings a language. You can learn a lot about the fact that, when we did a show when we did a European tour for 2 weeks, and we played in Poland and Germany and France, that there was no cultural barrier when it comes to music. there's no cultural or social barrier.
Yeah.
If the music and the song is relatable and interpretable, and people can do that for themselves and create their own bubble within the song, then that's your job, that's your role as a singer-songwriter.
And I wanted to ask you, we got a lot of musos that read our site, and I wanted to ask you about your instruments. Are you endorsed? If so, who by, and how do you find playing those instruments? And if you're not, can you tell us about some of your favourite guitars that you like using both in the studio and on stage?
So I have a Taylor. My personal guitar that I own myself is a Taylor, and I really love it. It actually is sentimental because it was my mother passed away at the age of 44 of a speed overdose, and the guitar, the Taylor that I have, I paid $5,500 for it, and I took out a loan when I was 19 years of age to buy it.
Wow.
And when I was 20, my mum got stolen generation compensation money.
Yeah.
And she gave me some, and I was able to pay off the loan and purchase the guitar basically straight out. And
wow.
So I think that's a really sentimental thing for me, like that I took out such a big loan. I went, got a job, took out the loan, and was paying the money back for the guitar. And then my mum paid it off for me so I could concentrate on music without having to work to kind of pay off this loan. So that was a really nice kind of thing. And I play that, and I've got 3 boys. Or I know it cost me, I was just only having a conversation with my partner, Michelle, about actually going, my kids are allowed to play with it, I allow the kids to play it. I worry about it.
Of course.
Because it's such an expensive guitar, but there's that sentimental value of, like, if I didn't let them play it, then why have it at all?
Yeah.
But I'm also sponsored by Mason. When I perform live and I'm touring, I play a Mason, which was custom made, which is a really beautiful thing. And it has the Tassie Devil on the neck of the guitar.
Oh, cool.
Which is really beautiful. And so we've called the guitar Perenina, because in Tasmanian Aboriginal language, Tassie Devil in our language is Perenina.
Newcastle Live.